we care about all the children in our districts, all the children in our state. It's because we want our kids, all of our kids, everywhere, to be prepared for the choices and challenges they will encounter. Because all of us benefit when every student is successful. Think of a healthy community. It has a vibrant economy, strong civic engagement, and yes, successful schools that help every student reach their potential. Can we ensure that every student will have a bright future and that they will graduate ready for the world?
We know that we need to, regardless of that, find common ground so that all kids, all students, can have a way to success and get what they need for that success. But before we even get there, we need to find out what is in fact going on. And we also need to remind ourselves that there are certain populations, whether it's here in Colorado or nationwide, that, as we say in DC, are underserved. That because of the system, because of the inequities, because of the lack of resources, because of special needs, for whatever reason, they're not getting what they need to achieve and be prepared.
One of the things that struck me as I was reading all those things is that in the Latino community, a lot of the children are already engaged in a lot of productive activities, and they have to do it not because it's something that they have to do it because they have to support the family. So, you know, they're engaged in the workforce very, very early because they need to go out there and work and support the family and help support the family. Teachers, high quality teachers, when you're looking at the Latino community and you're looking at the school districts and you look at the faces of the staff, for example, you don't see very many faces of color in the teaching profession. And we need to do a lot more in terms of trying to get more teachers of color trained and hired in the profession. Kids need to see themselves when they start looking at the person in front of the classroom. We don't have that. And then when you do ask school districts, how come you don't hire teachers of color or bilingual teachers, etc.? The response is, where are they? Where do we find them? So it's not a school district problem. I think it's a big community problem. It's a big issue, starting from trying to motivate our own kids to go into the teaching profession, for example. And the one thing I do want to say, especially to everyone here, is 2050 is coming pretty fast. So if you listen to statistics and if you listen to people that have that mindset, by 2050, the Latino community is going to be the largest ethnic group in the United States. And if we don't do something to correct the direction that we're going in terms of educating our kids, we're going to be a big, big problem. There's going to be a lot of problems. So we need to start thinking about how we're going to do that and how we're going to do it quick. And I am glad that Great Futures, Great Education Colorado reached out to us because they recognized the fact that they were going to get an all-white audience here today. But they reached out to us because we have connections with our community, and we brought Latino parents here today so that they can become learning how to be a voice, also to support the education efforts that Terry's supporting and everybody else is supporting. So equity is a big issue in our community.
So this area represents the greatest populace of children across the state. It also represents an area where we have the greatest ethnic diversity. It also represents an area where 2/3 of the children are attending a school that is failing. And so when we talk about are we really preparing kids for a global economy, how do you prepare a kid for a global economy when they're attending an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school that is underperforming, where only 15 to 20% of the kids are reading at grade level? or doing math at grade level, where teachers are being cycled through as if it's an emergency room. So I would say, there are great inequities, and that there's several things that each and every one of us can do. And I love the quote that you mentioned when Martin Luther King says, "We will bend the arc of justice." And I believe that the arc of justice as it relates to education will only be bent based on the people who are willing to bend it. And that's why I'm excited that each of you are here today, for those who are here and for those who are outside, who are organizing within their own school buildings. And when we talk about the kids who are inside of this children's corridor, 53,000 of them, 53,000 children who begin kindergarten saying, "I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be an electrician," that somehow or another during the course of their education, that dream is robbed from them. However, collectively, I think that together as we organize, as we look to mobilize communities to increase resources, that we will be able to meet the needs of children of color. And that just doesn't exist here in the Denver metro area. Our worst school district is out in Mesa Verde. And in that school district, you have even less than 10% of the kids reading at grade level. And so this is an issue that's being dealt with kids across the state, in rural communities and in the Denver urban area as well. So whatever we can do to bring people together and to mobilize communities, I think this is a great start.
Thank you.
To make our collective voice heard at the ballot box and in the Capitol, it will happen when each of us finds our own way to get engaged and to help others get engaged. All of us are part of making Colorado a place where every student graduates ready for the world. It starts here and now with me and you.